Hello viewers, welcome again to another episode of B4 Rings, episode 6 of the 1.8 ADR AEB conversion to Pinky the Audi. I've clocked it up. I think I'm from Saturday till now, which is Tuesday, 2 more days before Christmas. Tomorrow's Christmas Eve. I've racked up so far 31 hours on this car, and I don't know if that's a good amount of time or a bad amount of time, considering on Saturday took an engine out, put a new one in, Sunday cleaning up stuff and getting things prepared, and then yesterday the wiring situation and heater matrix, and then today it's just the last bit of wiring before I put any heater matrix in the car. I'm just going to test and check that everything works. So the only thing I've got to plug in now is a black plug what goes into this fuse board, and it has been an absolute ball ache. It has done my wicked. Normally I can get them plugged in, but for some reason yesterday this plug did not want to go in. I think it was probably because I've done so much hours and I was tired and it was cold outside. That's the only thing when you're working outside on projects and everything. You know, I need the space back because I can't have this car sitting in the way. So I got tired with it, and then I just thought, oh no, I'm going to throw in the towel. I started at 12 o'clock last night, finished at 9. Stayed a bit after trying to get this plug in, but that is the only thing I've got to do. Since doing that, I've cut the T-piece down the sides here, like I said I was going to do, cut them down, and I've got to be careful, but I got a bit of a sledgehammer and kind of knocked that piece back. It's still strong and durable, so I'm going to test and see if the front mount intercooler will go underneath the bumper. These red pieces of spray here I've put here to just mark where I had the intercooler before. I know it looks a bit rough, but you know, sometimes you just gotta, whatever you got around you, you know. I've done that. So I've connected the earths. Normally they're inside the car, remember I was saying in the last video, but here they're connected there, so I've put it there, which is easier for me, to be fair. The rest of the loom's in. I've got to change a few switches. You've got the oil pressure switch. No, that's the alternator one. Right, this one here. On a B5 it's different. On an ADR it's like a plug, and if I look on the sensor, I don't know what card is come off, but the temperature, the oil pressure sensor is somewhere around here. Anyway, it's a plug. It's not like this where it's got a spade connector on or whatever it is in there. It's not that, it's a plug. So lucky enough on my other engine and the loom I've got, I can cut that off and solder that together. Other than that, we're kind of at the same place. So with the alternator as well, I've had to take off the lead what goes to the alternator, because an ADR has this. So over here, this is an ADR wiring loom for the starter and alternator. It's all in conjunction with each other, and it's got that plug. I think the V6s have them as well. An AEB has just got that is for the alternator, so I need to cut that plug off and put it onto this loom here, and then plug that up, because when I was like, I haven't got a battery connector on the engine, so I've had to take this off the AEB engine. So I'm going to take that off. So all I need is that plug, get rid of that, and then I'm going to put this connector on there, and I'll be able to, because the starter wire is all linked together, the separator and everything, but they're linked together. So the starter motor what I got in the wiring kit is small as well, so what I can do, I can connect the starter motor wire with that, get that all professionally done and tidied up. So then we've got the connection side of like the starter, the alternator, all that's ready and done. As for the rest of inside the car, it is a bit of a tip. Got the loom in, wiring loom for the plugs for the ECU, the old ECU's over there. I've got the new ECU inside the workshop. So after putting the plug in and sorting out there and testing the front bumper, we'll be able to jack the car back down. So long as the bumper fits properly, jack the car down, put the plug in, put some oil in there, and then try it with the key. I'm not gonna have the coils connected to it, because I want to prime the turbo and build it up. Once I've done that, then I'll connect all the plugs up and see if this thing fires. So we're getting closer. I want it running before it gets dark, so if it does run, I'll be able to put the heater matrix back in, put all the wiring properly, put the dash in, because all the stuff I've got to do with wiring is going to be by the steering side anyway. It's only clocks and stuff, and probably the VDOs in the middle with your oil temperature and battery and everything, and oil pressure. That's the only thing you really need it for. Then I can start putting the seats back in, and then obviously I want to leave the car in a good condition to when I come back to it. I don't want to have a rumble, because well, I'm not like that, but some people will look at it and go, I can't be bothered. And you know, I was encouraged by a guy, a windscreen fitter. He came to me one time and he says, you've got people who are starters and finishers, and you're a finisher. And I took that, you know, took that to my heart. I did with that, because you have got people who are starters. They're brilliant at their jobs and stuff, and they will start something, but they never finish it. If you take your car to a body shop and you get it painted, it's stuck there, or a mechanic, and you're thinking, why can't you finish it? You know, they can probably do it, but they just can't be bothered or be asked to do it. I want to see myself as a finisher. So you've started a job and you've finished it, because obviously then you know you've tackled what you were supposed to tackle. Anyway, let's get on to getting these things done. So on an ADR engine, this is the oil pressure switch. This is what it looks like on this, and the model I took it off, and it's the same on the engine, but the loom is different. So I'm going to stitch this one onto the loom because it's different. So before I start the car and before I put the black plug in for the fuel pump, I thought it'd be a good idea just to connect the battery and see if the starter and the starter works and it can turn over. So now here's the moment of truth. If it does it, check it's in neutral. I'll put the key in to see what happens. Here we go. That's brilliant. Okay, so I'm going to turn it a few more times. So we know with the wiring, the starter works and everything's plugged up. So the next thing I'm going to do is put the plug in, connect the ECU up and see if it starts. Right, so we've connected the ECU. We've got all the wires connected. I've got the plug back in. It was a nightmare, but I got it in. Take note, people, if you're ever going to do a conversion like this, that black plug is an absolute nightmare to do. So I've got the module what you connect to, because the A4's had this module, and then it has this ECU next to it. So in an A4 you have that module up by the bulkhead, and then that ECU. Let's give it a go then. So I've just turned the ignition, and hopefully we get to hear if we've got fuel. Right, I'm going to pull it down there. You normally hear the fuel pump. So we've got fuel. So fuel's working. So let's try it again. I haven't got the coil pack started, but let's see what goes on. So we've got fuel. Let's see if we've got spark. So we've got everything connected. Before I do the final start, the actual start, I've checked everything's connected. Lambda sensor's connected temporarily. I know it's hanging there because obviously I've got to get it connected. The other one I got was off a B6A4. So I'm having to put an ADR one or AEB 5 one in there, AEB one. Right, everything's connected. We've got fuel working. ECU's connected. I've just connected the airbox because obviously the airflow meter is going to go. Right, let's give it a test and see if it will start. Here goes nothing. Oh, almost there. It's there. Give it a bit of gas. Right, so I'm going to try something else in a second and see if it will start up with something else. I've got another ECU, so let's see if it starts with the other ECU. What I'm going to do is try two different ECUs. One's a stage 2 chipped ECU I've got spare, and another one's another ECU which I've had modified to work on the B5. Let's try the modified one first, and then we'll try the tuned up one if that one doesn't work. But I think it should, I'm hoping it works with this modified one. Right, so I've changed the ECU to the modified one, not the tuned one, the modified one. I'm going to put the battery timer back on because I don't want to. Here we go. You can hear fuel pump straight away, so that's a good sign. Let's see if it starts and runs on the modified ECU. Oh, so it's running. Give it some chance. I'll make it run on its own. There you go. That's not bad. It's running. We've got it running, people. I'm happy with that. So let's say 37 hours. It's a whole week, that is, of working in a workplace over a weekend. Started this on Saturday, continued Sunday, continued Monday, and on to Tuesday today, with Christmas Eve tomorrow. My plan was to get the engine and get it started. Absolutely chuffed to bits. Probably to some other people, like, yeah, I could do that easy, you know, it's not a problem. Right, let's put that there and make sure the coils are in properly. Yeah, I'm absolutely happy with that. I can do the more modifications later on down the line. Like I said, the evap plugs are not on proper. Well, they are on properly, but we haven't got the breathers on properly for the fuel and everything. So I'm happy with how it's come out. Like, you know, it's the quickest I've ever done an engine conversion. It has been tiring. I've been knackered. Well, it's done. It's absolutely done. I'm happy with that. We're going to give it another go and see if it will start. I can see that the fuel regulator breathers come off. That's probably with me moving around and everything. So I'm going to try put that back on and see if it will hold the pressure. Hold on. Oh, it's been a bugger. Let's put that on. All right, let's put that on and give it a go. See if it will start again. Well, it's better than nothing, I suppose. At least it's running. We've got it started. So we're looking to the reason why it's hunting up and down. Most of the pipes ain't on correctly anyway, and the breathers and everything and whatnot. So I'll look into that and see what's going on. Probably the airflow meter's gone down or something, but it's running. It's not misfiring. It's when we put the exhaust on, we'll find out what's going on. It could be the temperature sensor as well. I know that the one for messing around with, but we'll check it all out. It's something I'm going to connect the cable on. I've still got the cable on to connect up, and then we'll find out what's going on. I do remember when I actually done the silver coupe, there was some faults what come up on VCDS, and you've got to clear those faults first before the car can run properly. But it's running. At least it can it can idle. You know, it can idle and go to where it's got to go. I can move it around. The main thing was getting the engine in and seeing how it runs, which is an absolute treat. It's a Christmas present for me this year. A Christmas present to myself, getting it to run. So we will be moving on to get the heater matrix parts in. Stay tuned. Hope you all have a great Christmas, and we'll be looking in this just either before the new year or into the new year. I'll start fitting this back up. Hopefully I have all the interior back in there, and we'll have all the pipes and stuff on. So I'll give you an update of what's going on. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Don't forget to press the bell so you can get updates on what's going on. It's been a mammoth of a journey, but we've got it done. So if I can do it, you can do it. You know, so I've done it outside. It's been cold. I've just wrapped up and got on with it. Thanks to my mate Joe. He helped me get the engine in. The rest of it, I just took my time and got it in. It was actually, if you like messing with spanners and getting stuff done, you know, it is a nice project to do and a nice hobby. It's a straightforward thing. I've got to get all the other bits in, but I'm waffling on now, so I'll leave it there. But thank you very much for Happy New Year. Be safe, and I'll see you soon. Thank you.